Hey everyone, welcome back to Back Porch Tales and Travels.
We're so glad you're spending a little time with us today because we've got a great story to share.
You know, every once in a while you stumble across a piece of American history that makes you stop and say, why haven't I heard more about this?
Exactly. That's how we felt when we started learning about the Trail of Lonesome Pine. Written by John Fox Jr. in 1908, it became one of the first best-selling novels in the United States. Then Hollywood turned it into a movie starring Henry Fonda and Sylvia Sidney.
What's even more amazing is that over 100 years later, the story is still alive. Every summer, audiences gather in the mountains of Southwest Virginia to watch Trail of the Lonesome Pine Outdoor Drama, performed where the story itself was born.
And today we're talking with the person who makes that happen. Lonijonli Fox is the director of the outdoor drama, and she's joining us to share its history, a few behind-the-scenes stories, and why people keep coming back year after year.
So grab a glass of sweet tea, get comfortable, and come along with us as we visit one of Appalachia's most treasured traditions.
My name is Lonijonli Fox. I go by Lonnie. I've been a theater actor for about 18 years. I don't look like I've been in theater for 18 years, but I got started when I was single digits. I've been a theater actor at multiple different theaters in the Tri-Cities, Tennessee, Lamplight Theater for 14 years, Perplexitous Mystery Dinner Theater. That was a escape room dinner theater experience. I've been a professional film actor for a year now. I am with Talent Trek out of Knoxville. I've been in music videos, short films, feature length, a few commercials, newspaper articles, and a few films that are out already. So I'm 27. This is my first time directing Trail of the Lonesome Pine, and it is quite a unique experience, and I really enjoy being the director. So this is our 63rd season of Trail of the Lonesome Pine, the outdoor drama specifically. The original book came out in 1908, so it is quite a bit more aged than the drama. With the Trail of the Lonesome Pine, it is the longest running outdoor drama in Virginia, so just marking it off on your bucket list should be pretty cool. Trail of the Lonesome Pine is a story by John Fox Jr. written in 1908. Is this young girl and this young man, they fall in love, and there's a huge feud going on at the same time. Think a little bit of Romeo and Juliet, but there's a better ending. Over the 63 years, there's been multiple different directors, there's been multiple different cast members. And one of the cool things that the board has allowed the director to do is to write their own version of the script. And that's part of the reason why I recommend people to come see it, even if you have seen it before, is because you never know how the director is going to change things up. Like me, I've read 7 different previous scripts along with the original, and the original was over 100 pages and it was 4 hours long. This year is not 4 hours long, nowhere close. And my version, I also added in a little bit of slapstick. The Phelan family, in the book, they're the feuding family. So it's the Tollivers and the Phelans. And in some previous scripts, the Phelans weren't really a pivotal part. But if you're going to have a feuding show, I think you should have the other feuding family, right? So the Phelans, I have them as kind of our comedy bit this year. So I've taken pieces and parts from 7 of the previous scripts, and I've also added in some of my original stuff, as well as stuff from the book. Like, let me show you. This is my 1911 copy of the Trail of the Lonesome Pine, and these are all my sticky notes. This is just my book, let alone all of the research that I've done by Jack Mack. Roger Bays, as well as Joey O'Quinn, has given me a lot of the history of the Trail of the Lonesome Pine, as well as the Heritage School across the street from the trail. As well as in this book, you've got some of the original drawings, like this. And this is the 1911 copy. So a few years after the original 1908, the original. This one I got on eBay, and it's part of a collection of John Fox's books. So there's other ones that match this one. The drama has had multiple different upgrades as well. Like the dressing rooms for the main cast is actually the old stage. If you get an opportunity to go back there, you can still see Trail of the Lonesome Pine in the stencil in one of the dressing rooms, and you can also see the green paint from the original stage back there. It's really cool. The place that the gift shop is now used to be the schoolhouse. So the whole stage has had completely different changes over the years. The seats now are concreted in. Everybody used to just bring their own folding chair when they came to see the show. And now there's actually permanent seats there. And then we've got our bandstand over on the left side. And you actually get to watch the band play live. All the transition music, the music that's being played when people sing, you can see the band playing, and it's really cool. Barbara Polly was definitely pivotal in the Trail of the Lonesome Pine. She was the first ever June, and Jack Mack has also been a part of the trail since towards the beginning. So there was quite a few people that were very, very pivotal at the beginning. There is also a portrait of Barbara Polly as June Tolliver in the June Tolliver house, and right behind the piano. And I'll give you a really, really interesting fact is our actress this year, Allison Bowling, looks like a carbon copy of Barbara. It's honestly a little creepy, not gonna lie. They look so similar. It's seriously eerie. So it's a full circle moment. Yeah, she was born for the role. Jack Mack was one of the big original actors in the trail. He has played just about every male character that you could imagine. He is also a local legend and a historian. He also did the trail for, I do believe 30 plus years. And then he is now in his 80s, and he still does the pre-show announcements and things like that. He is a pivotal part of the trail. It would be cool to honestly just have a documentary on him. He's that interesting. But the side stories, Jack Mack told me this one when he came into the theater one day. And he said, yeah, back when the gallows were enclosed, I'm going to say this specific character, so just in case you haven't seen it before, it's not a spoiler. This specific character gets hung in this enclosed gallows, and it looked like an outhouse. I know you can already guess where this is going. So it looked like an outhouse, and back then, a lot of the actors used to drink pretty heavily. So needless to say, one actor got quite drunk, thought it was an outhouse, and used it. And then the actor that gets hung went in there, got up on the thing, and went, I just stepped in, and there was an audience. That is one side story. Now, and another one, and this was a completely different year, and it also had to do with that scene. The gallows that we have now are eerily realistic, the way that they look. And one year, this lady came and she watched the show, and she actually had a heart attack. So, I shouldn't laugh, but she's fine now. She's fine now, or I wouldn't be laughing. But it creeped her out so much that she had a heart attack. The courtroom scene is very iconic in the Trail of the Lonesome Pine, the book, and in the play. A lot of people come to be a part of the courtroom scene because we take 12 men from the audience and we include them in the jury, and they get a piece of paper at the end with their name and the Trail of the Lonesome Pine logo, and thank you for being a part of the jury. There's two specific characters in the trail, and they end up in this courtroom scene, and you're trying to figure out the guilt of this one character. And then there's two other characters that throw in almost soap opera revelation moments. And then as the jury, the 12 audience members, you get to decide if this character is not guilty or guilty. And so you actually get to be a part of the show as well. But I also like being a director because you get to find out what the actors want. So if there's a specific thing that they need or they want, or questions, concerns, you can actually help with that instead of feeling kind of helpless as a fellow actor. I also enjoy the creative aspects of being a director, being able to write my own script, being able to decide on music. We do have a music director, and that is Tommy Bright the third, Tommy Bright the third specifically, and he has picked out the music, but being able to collaborate and work with a lot of people is part of the enjoyable part of it. We brought in Eclipse Productions this year, and they're helping with our sound. That's a whole nother thing, is apparently our sound system is cursed, no matter if it's a professional team coming in or not. That's part of the trail lore, is that the tech is cursed and that there's a ghost lady wearing white in the top of the June Tolliver house. You can look into that. But the aspects of being able to collaborate and create together, it's really enjoyable. And then as an actor, being able to hold a script in your hand and help bring it to life in a different way than the director can, because the director stays behind the set in general, unless filling in or having to do something on the set or on the stage, set or stage. But an actor, you get to be the face of the production. You get to have your face out there. You get to actually bring the story to life with your skills and your fellow actor skills. So both are enjoyable in completely different ways, and I enjoy both aspects. And I also enjoy, as an actor, getting to work with other incredible actors. Like, we have some actors in the show that are great. Like the three bad boys. Let me tell you about the bad boys. Glenn, Roy, and Dodie. And there are three iconic, in multiple different people's words, iconic bad boys. The three of them have been a part of the trail for over 10 plus years together. And a lot of audience members will come to just see the three of them, because they have a chemistry that a lot of actors take years and years to develop that kind of chemistry. They can just work off of each other. They can do improvs. If one of them drops a line, the other one covers it. If one of them has a funny improv, the other ones will roll right with it. They also have a chemistry that's on stage, but you can also see it off stage. It doesn't stop. Like Dodie Daniels, he had a incident recently where his body just didn't feel good when we were at rehearsal. And me and my mom and a few others, we went to the hospital to check on him, and Roy was already there. He was already there checking on his best friend. So whenever you get to come see the show, really watch the bad boys, and you can definitely tell that there's a kind of chemistry there that it would take normal actors years and years to develop that. And because of that, also, their acting is so good. There's better words for it than just so good, but it's realistic in an interesting way. Roy and Glenn are not bad guys in real life. I promise. They're not bad guys in real life, but they do a good job of it on stage. But they're the three that, as an actor, I aspire to kind of be like, to be able to also have fellow actors I've been working with for 10 plus years. And it changes the complete energy of the scene too, to have people around you that you can depend and rely on. Check out our website, Trail of the Lonesome Pine Outdoor Drama. We also have an Instagram, Trail of the Lonesome Pine. And then we also have a TikTok, and I do believe we have a YouTube as well. It is in Big Stone Gap, Virginia. It is at the Barbara Pauley Theater. It used to be the June Tolliver Theater. And then Barbara Pauley passed away, and some of her family donated some money to the trail. And they said, how can we repay you? And they decided to name it the Barbara Pauley Theater. It is on 518 Clinton Avenue, East Big Stone Gap, Virginia. And it is like, so in Virginia, it's towards like right here, like right near the tip. So there are 335 seats. We run June 5th through August 8th. This year, we are just doing Fridays and Saturdays. Doors open at 7. Pre-show is 7:15, and the show promptly should start at 8. The ticket prices are $25 for backstage VIP. You can get a picture on the stage, and you can get a picture with any actor that you want. Last weekend, some of the VIPs wanted a picture with Judd, so they got a picture with him on the stage. And then general admission is $15. Children ages 6 to 12 are $10. Seniors age 60 plus are $10. Military is $10. Pre-show only is $5, and children under 6 are free.
Well, John, we're back in your backyard again.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, I have spent a lot of time at the Trail of Lonesome Pine. My daughter was in the play for 16 years.
Oh my gosh.
So,
wow. Well, you are
trust me.
definitely part of the tradition yourself
Yes,
then.
a lot of backstage, a lot of taking her stuff, a lot of picking her
Wow.
up, dropping her off, and of course watching the play itself. And one of the amazing things, and Lonnie talked about this, was each year, each time they had a new director, the play did change. Because that director could, as she stated earlier, could make changes and do their interpretation.
I was going to ask about that, since you said that she was involved in it for those many years, that you must have seen many different renditions of it.
4, 5, maybe 6. It was good because it gave a different perspective of the book and the play.
I love that. I really do. I think that is so neat to be able to just take something and make it your own as a director. I love when she talked about how she put some slapstick in it. Was
Yeah.
there much humor in the past versions?
From my memory, it was kind of a not to give away too many
Yeah.
secrets, and we want people to go to the drama, and we want people to read the book too. But it's about a feud between two mountain families, and it's at the turn of the century. It's kind of like modern 1923 that we all watched. So you got the whole world changing. With technology, you're going from horseback, so it's right at that edge. You got the feud going on. You got the backstory of how industry's changing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a mountain culture. So you got outsiders coming in.
I'm sure that's where some of the drama and the conflict starts to come
Oh,
about.
absolutely. I mean, you got Jack Hale, who's an outsider coming in. So you got that person that's in a new culture, and he's having to learn these things.
Wow, I love that. Well, I think that's such a creative way to keep it alive. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's part of what's kept it alive, to be honest, is the idea that it's constantly being slightly recreated and have a fresh perspective. Bonnie is adorable. I'm sure that she has just brought all kinds of color to her version of it. And seeing her hold up that book with all those sticky notes and tabs, I mean, you get a feel for just how hard she worked too to make this something unique.
Oh, absolutely. And she was so respectful of the history of the book and John Fox Jr.'s work and stuff. And one of the things, and this is where I feel a little bit embarrassed. Here I've grown up with this drama in my hometown, grown up with that history. And I did not know that John Fox Jr. and the Trail of Lonesome Pine was the first million-selling book in American history. And of course, we wrote a little bit about in a newsletter and stuff. If you were standing on the street corner in New York City and asked who was the first author who sold 1 million copies of a book, I mean, you would think people would say Edgar Allan Poe, Hemingway, Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
I mean, all the greats that come to mind that they're taught in literature class in high school. But no, it's John Fox Jr. He was the first, and that he was the first one to sell 1 million copies of the Trail of Lonesome Pine, and it ended up selling 2 million copies. In 1908. And
I know you pointed out that there's actually people weren't buying books like they do today.
No.
So it's a big deal even today if somebody sells 1 million copies. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But to sell 1 million copies at the rate that people were actually buying books back then, that was an even bigger feat than it might appear.
Oh, and we put in a newsletter when he sold that many copies in 1908, there was only 90 million people in the United States. And so he sold 2 million copies. And then you got to subtract out, there was no paperbacks in existence. So you had to sell expensive hardbacks. And when you start thinking also about how many people who could read and then how many people who could afford a hardback book at that time, I mean, basically, if you could read and afford it, you had that copy of that book on your bookshelf in America. So
it's surprising that we all aren't as familiar with that as we are Grapes of Wrath or some of the books that you associate with everybody knowing about. You'd think that this would be right next to it since it's the first big top of the New York Times list, if that even existed. It probably would have
since
been.
You brought up New York, it was turned into a Broadway play. And not only, we talked about the movie with Henry Fonda, but there was 2 other movies made from it earlier.
Oh, wow.
So there was three Hollywood movies, a Broadway play, and now, of course, we still have the Trail of Lonesome Pine outdoor drama that's still going on over 100 years later. And I love how Lonnie talked about England and has their Shakespeare and has Romeo and Juliet. America has the Trail of Lonesome Pine.
Wow.
With June and Jack.
Wow. Yeah. And when she brought that up, she's so cute too. It's like Romeo and Juliet. What a better ending.
Yeah. And trust me, for those that maybe get the book or come see the drama, it has a much better ending.
I love that
Romeo
too.
and Juliet.
So cute. Like, okay, yeah. All right. I think I can handle that. Well, I know that in our newsletter, we do have a lot of people who are part of Hollywood and screenwriters. So I just want to say it would be cool to see that movie made today.
Oh, I know.
I think they should really consider it. That's such an important part of our history. It's such a pivotal story to be compared to Romeo and Juliet, and this is our country's version of it.
Yep.
And we need to see Hollywood take another crack at that because I know they like to do that from time to time. So, and of course, Appalachian and other areas are known for their feuds.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of like a big part of American culture that's intriguing, like how, because they're real. I mean,
Yes.
we should and could do an episode just on the feuds that have happened. Hatfield and McCoy, it's like, oh my goodness, how did that start and why did that become as big as it was? And so I think there's a whole interesting history just behind the existence of feuds like that.
Had a wonderful time with this story. Lonnie, as you said, is a treasure, that youthful energy. You can tell she's a wonderful actress too. And she's going to be a wonderful director.
Yeah, she was very fun to hang out with. She's very animated. So I'm sure that all the actors enjoy having her as a director too. I bet she makes their job a lot of fun. Yeah.
And if you get a chance to come down and see the drama, you'll have a wonderful time. You'll meet some wonderful people. And one thing, it's kind of amazing, even though we're in rural Southwest Virginia, we're not that hard to get to, is how many people come from a long ways away every year. You mentioned that. I can remember attending the drama and having people all the way from Oregon being there. And also, we're not that far from Dollywood. They're coming to Dollywood and they're looking at that hour to 2 hour radius. Which we're probably pushing about 2.5 from Dollywood, but it's a day trip. So if they're down Dollywood for a while, come on up, Big Stone Gap, Virginia, through the Trail of Lonesome Pine Outdoor Drama.
Yeah, our last episode featured the Historical Museum of Southwest Virginia. So definitely we're going to give you a lot of destinations all in this little community that you'll want to check out.
Everything Big Stone Gap.
And maybe you'll even run into John Peace while you're there. Who knows? Maybe you'll be doing a book signing somewhere for some of your great books.
And we do got one coming out. And then, of course, TV series from Big Stone Gap with Adrian Trigiani. And so there's some things going on in the near future.
Well, thanks, everyone, for joining us on the back porch. And we will see you in the next episode.